decades-long fight for gender equity at Colorado State University has relied on an untold number of people standing up for what they believed in. Those who knew a shift in our trajectory was the only meaningful path forward, but it often required swimming fiercely against a strong tide whose force had been set in motion over the course of American history. For 20 years now, the CSU President's Commission on Women and Gender Equity has been stalwart, helping to move CSU forward step by step, standing up and calling for change in the institution's culture to create a better and more equitable climate for women. The President's Commission on Women and Gender Equity is working very hard to make this campus a better place for women to work and learn and study. And if we succeed at that, we're going to make it a better campus for everybody to learn and work and study. Women have helped lead CSU since its founding. As the first students enrolled at Colorado's newly established State Agricultural College, women made up nearly half the class. 4 years later, the institution's first graduating class, 3 students, included one woman, Libby Coy. Over the years, Colorado's land-grant institution has mirrored society, reflecting cultural and social changes happening across the country. For generations, women at CSU have fought to have the same opportunities and privileges as male peers, whether that involved salary equity, admission to the vet school, or elimination of women-only curfews in the residence halls. In 1994, CSU's then president, Albert Yates, charged a task force to take a hard look at the status of women at CSU. From that task force, the commission was created, and in 1997, it began its ongoing work to identify priorities, advise the president, and recommend concrete steps to continuously improve the climate for women. We're celebrating our 20th anniversary, and one of the reasons we've been so successful is that we've been at this for 20 years, and it takes that consistent, long-term effort to make the type of cultural change that we are seeking. While there have been successes, the story of the push for gender equity and culture change at CSU is one of a work in progress. Today, the Commission is one of several CSU teams that together provide a solid structure for support, education, and advocacy around women and gender equity. These include the Women and Gender Advocacy Center, the Standing Committee on the Status of Women Faculty, the Center for Women's Studies and Gender Research, the Women and Gender Collaborative, the Office of the Vice President for Diversity, the External Advisory Council on the Status of Women, and our various student diversity programs and services. Collectively, working with university leadership, these groups have helped change the trajectory of the university and its climate for women. A cultural shift that comes through the hard work and dedication of faculty, students, staff, department heads and deans, and the sustained commitment of the university president.
We challenged ourselves to be the best university in the country for women. Now, women have long played key leadership roles on this campus, in student government, in the faculty and the staff, and in our administration. But too often I think we fail to fully acknowledge the unique challenges that women face in the workplace.
Over the Commission's 20 years, it has championed issues including parental leave, salary equity, campus safety, support for nursing mothers, and more. And the list of priorities remains long. Our long-term goal is to put ourselves out of business. I hope that 20 years from now we don't need a President's Commission on Women and Gender Equity. At CSU, the President's Commission on Women and Gender Equity will continue to be a leader, building on 20 years of progress to keep moving forward.